Okay. Hi guys, welcome to another 30-minute live chat in DID. Today we have Stacy, a year 4 USP and DID student with an art background. Okay, I'll let her introduce herself soon. And we have Prof. Ki Hong.
Hi.
Yeah, who would like to introduce herself first?
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm Ki Hong here. I'm a staff here teaching industrial design. I come from in the industry, and my main role here is that make sure that learning is aligned to market reality. I guess so that graduate will have an easier time looking for a job, and likewise employers will get more usable graduates from us. And my focus in this area, a lot of my activities are in collaboration with the industry. So I collaborate with Philips, HP, Samsung, even government agencies like GovTech, MOM, Prime Minister's Office. Collaboration, everybody does that, but here we try to have quality output from this collaboration. So I'm glad to say a lot of my students have won international design awards, even Red Dot Best of the Best award, which is quite a high industry award. And we have awards from IKEA, from Dyson. So these are all international awards and a lot more. And this is, and I'm also just one of the many tutors that we have here at DID. And together we try to provide a very diverse and very fluid education design.
Maybe you could tell us more about your background before you joined DID. How many years ago?
5 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like quite recent.
So, can you tell us more about what you were doing before that?
I have been in the industry for more than 20 years, both in corporate design and also in agencies in the US and Singapore. And I'm still in the agency. I'm still practicing. I'm from the practice track, so to keep myself relevant, I need to be practicing, so I know I'm talking and teaching.
Thanks, Kyung. Okay, so on to Stacy. Could you tell us a bit more about yourself? What you were doing before DID?
Okay, so I graduated from JC and I took art, but I kind of always knew that I wanted to go to NUS for ID because I was interested in product design actually in secondary school.
Oh.
Because I was from the School of Science and Technology in Singapore, and I was a pioneer batch.
Oh.
Yeah, and so we were exposed to design thinking, that kind of things early on. So I was quite interested in it. Yeah, so I decided to take the JC route because it was shorter to get to university. So I just did that instead of going through poly. So yes, but I decided to take art during JC so that I can still do some kind of art related things. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, and now I'm in ID and USP. So you can ask me questions about a hybrid kind of thing if you are planning to join USP as well as ID because they're both heavy committed programs. So yeah.
So you were considering product designs in secondary school, but what made you choose DID in the first place?
I think when I was in secondary school, I only knew that NUS had a product design / industrial design kind of program. Yeah. Though I kind of know of NTU's one, but it's under the bigger umbrella of art and
communications,
art
right?
comms, right? Yeah, the ADM building. Yeah.
So why did you choose DID apart from the other schools?
It just happened that way.
Okay. Thanks, Stacey. And you mentioned that you had an art background. Is it necessary to have an art background, or how has it helped you?
I think when I had art, it trained your sketching skills and your ability to mix colors and be more in touch with your creative side. Because in JC it's pretty technical. You always studying, but when you take art in JC, you spend most time doing creative stuff. You draw your sketchboards, yes, and you prepare for your finals. So in a way, I guess when I was taking art, it's kind of the same, maybe slightly less rigor than in ID. Because I think as long as you're doing something creative, you never really stop working. So the same goes for art. You never really have an end goal, and your end goal is when you have to submit it.
Yeah, because like a common question that people have been asking is, if they can't draw, if they don't have an art background, will they be at a disadvantage, a big disadvantage in DID? Comment on
No,
that?
definitely not. Because they teach you sketching here, but most of the time you don't. Okay, this is not a very nice thing to say.
It's okay.
Okay, we don't really do that much sketching after that sketching mod.
The first year.
Yeah, after the first year sketching mod, it's really up to your own drive to improve your own sketching skills. Like they give you the basic foundations, and it's up to you to like practice it. And if you don't practice it, you kind of like lose it.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Thanks, AC.
Yeah.
We have one question really from Colored Snow. Is there maths and a lot of maths for the course?
Mathematics.
Yeah, mathematics.
I think you can answer that.
Is there a lot of mathematics in the course? No, not really. Don't do a lot of maths. But we do a bit of physics. We had a module on materials. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in year one.
That was in year one. And that's the most physics-y, sciencey thing that we need to do.
Yeah, I hope that answers the question. A
But
straightforward
even
question.
then, we kind of have to do a bit of like, they always try to weave in some kind of design work in it. So for that course, we also did a flying machine just for fun. It's like a creative thing. You just take like scrap materials from technical devices, tech devices, and then you build a flying machine from it. With just a fun thing. There was not much of a purpose for it. It was just fun to do. So they still add like some kind of design or creative element, even though it was a hard topic about like physics and boring stuff.
I think an element of maths that was involved was to, if you're taking certain electives or studio platforms that involve algorithmic design or generative design, then that might require a bit of math, but it's not so much. It's not in everything that we do. Yeah, and also a common question that people ask, do we work with engineers in our projects? Because some of our projects do require that expertise.
We work with engineers.
Have you? Like for any of your projects?
Maybe I can take over that. I think in the past, and past means like maybe over a decade ago, I think industrial design is heavily linked to engineering because the output will be product design. But I think these days the scope for industrial design is a lot wider. So it might include design thinking. It also have design strategy, and we don't just deal with form. I think we also deal with services. So service design, retail design. It's quite a broad field. But the principles overall are quite similar, and it's quite applicable. And also, I think it better reflects today's professional environment, where a lot of silos are broken up. So it's no longer so common to hire a person that specializes in one thing. So the person may know a couple of things. Maybe it's more in depth in one thing or two things. So the days when you need to have an engineer on board is not on, at least not on our program. And at the same time, like sometimes we have, like for example myself, I do have a lot of professional experience. I do manage an engineering team before I joined here, and I think the basics of manufacturing, selecting the appropriate material, and all that. I think you don't need an engineer. I think those are quite fundamental. And also don't forget, today we live in a Google age. Everything can be Googled. Everything is on YouTube. I don't think you need an engineer sitting there to tell you what you can or can't do. And you do remember that the value add that an industrial designer have is not so much just to get something done, but actually to open up the possibility of what can be done. What can be done to make a product more successful? What can be done to make a product more usable? What can be done just to make sure that the product actually meets what user is looking for and the market is looking for, not just now or going forward. So I think it's more complex, and it's not a more diverse market that we are facing today. I hope I'm answering that in a very long-winded manner.
Yeah, and more comprehensive way than I thought. Okay, I hope that answers the question, Colored Snow. Okay, I have a few questions coming in. Thanks, Lacey. More on like student life. Okay. How is it from Pilot Claudio? How is it like to go on exchange? How is it like to go on exchange? And did you go for exchange?
Yeah, I did. I went to Netherlands and Delft.
Oh, yeah, I went to Eindhoven. Okay, how does it help you in your self-development?
Self-development.
Yes, yeah.
I think when I went for exchange, it was a very different lifestyle compared to Singapore because it's not very nice, but it's a lot easier. Like things there were more chill, were more laid back, and I think it's also because of the culture, like the kind of culture Netherlands have. It's more laid back, relaxed. Though it depends on the major, because for industrial design it was pretty relaxed compared to in NUS. So there I got to explore a lot more and like be more free with my projects. Plus it's also SU, so we just have to pass or fail. So it's very liberating to know that you just have to pass and you don't have to do extremely well. So yes, in terms of self-development, I guess I learned how to be more relaxed because you never actually know how to do that here, especially with a lot of expectations from tutors and from your friends, like your self-expectations, that you don't really get to be more relaxed and free. So there, I guess, I kind of learned how to be more relaxed. Though I came back, and then at first I was more chill and laid back, but it doesn't work.
After a while.
Yeah, after a while you just sit right back into your lifestyle, and you realize you're back to a stressful life. Though I mean, I'm slightly less stressed.
So what are you doing now?
I'm currently doing my thesis.
Would you like to share more about your thesis?
Do I really
want
to share about my thesis? TLDR, I'm doing something about color and creating some kind of creative program to rethink how color can be seen. And my target audience currently is on children. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, AC. Hope that answers your question. Pilot Claudio.
Yes, exchange friend.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, guys. Okay, so there are 11 people joining in now. If you're here and you have any like burning questions, right, to ask Stacy or Prof. Ki Hong, just type it into the questions icon at the bottom of the page, not the comment icon, so we can pin it and everybody can follow. Great. Okay. A question about USP from Kenneth. Did you regret joining DID and USP?
Did I regret? No, I actually didn't regret. USP is really quite a good community, I feel, because it is firstly multidisciplinary. So I get to have like a pool of like a community where everyone has different things to bring to the table, and it's always interesting to talk to these people with very different like perspectives on different topics. Yeah, so for the community, I really like USP as the space where I can like discuss about other topics that is outside of design, because being an ID can be quite secular, like everyone's just doing on the same thing, which is everyone's doing on design, and it gets quite like tunnel vision-y. So when you talk to other people, you kind of like expand like your thoughts also. Yeah. And about workload, so if you are doing USP plus ID, you overload for the first 2 years. Yeah, so you're instead of taking 24, what's the standard? 24?
I'm not sure.
24 MCs, you're always taking like 26, 28, and you do it for the first 3 semesters at least. So everyone is kind of like alive for the first year. You're always dying. Yes, and it feels like slightly annoying that everyone gets a bit of freedom and like it's stuck in both situations where it's both very stressful. So yeah, but you push through. And so that's what I tell all my USP ID juniors. Is the first 2 years is always the hardest, and then subsequently it'll be better.
So how do you think? So what's the best thing about being in both DID and USP?
I get like to have different perspective on, for example, if I do a project and then you like don't really know what to do, so So if you have questions you want to ask in IB, for example, that might relate to other majors, you can directly go to your friend who's studying on that major and go and ask them about it and hear their thoughts about it. And mostly you hear very different thoughts. So, for example, talking to an engineer is completely different from talking to like someone who does law or econs. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Stacey, for sharing. Oh, Cheryl is here. She said so true. She has us high. Thanks, Stacey. Okay, let me check for other questions. Oh, okay. Okay, another question, a follow-up from earlier about exchange programs. Do all DID graduates get to go on overseas exchange programs? And do you get to choose where to go?
I would say, in general, all of us can go if you want to go. Because they kind of allocate slots for us, and we are quite a small major. So in terms of writing, proportionally wise, all of us can go if you want to go. And whether you choose depends heavily on your CAT, I feel. So they choose based on, like,
merit.
if you have a higher CAT, you have a higher chance of deciding on where you want to go. And in order to deconflict that, most of the times, like depending on your batch, they will help deconflict by like sending out maybe an Excel sheet, and then you fill up your choices that you want to go. And then if there's oversubscription to one, you kind of do the underhand thing where you ask people what's their cap, and then if you're the lowest cap, you just bump yourself out and find somewhere else. Yes.
Yeah, so it's mostly by merit lah.
Yeah. So you, unless someone like snakes you, you should be able to go to the school that you want to go.
Yeah, it depends on the demand for that particular school also.
Yes.
So for example, in DID, I think ICAL will be the highest in demand one. And they only select one student a year. So it also depends on the university.
It depends on the batch. Some batches, they prefer, for example, going to the Netherlands. Or some batches prefer to go to like France. Or some people strongly want to go to the US. Then those will be the more popular ones. So it really depends on. Like for ours, not a lot of people want to go Switzerland.
Yeah, true. Depends on the batch. Hope that answers your question, Douglas. Okay, let me see. Okay. Oh, it's more for Ki Hong. Since you're in design exchange and you have a lot of experience, what are your top tips in pitching to clients?
We don't really pitch as in an advertising agency where we do free concepts and pitch. We pitch for project more like a presentation to introduce ourselves, to secure the project. I think just be honest about things. I think for many reasons, I always try to be as straightforward as I can. Without being rude. And sometimes you see projects that are not viable. It's best to actually be upfront and tell them, because you don't want us to get one project. You want to get many projects from the same client. Singapore is not a very big place. It's best to actually have some kind of relationship with the customer. And if the project you know is going to bomb anyway, it's best to tell them. And you may lose a project, but I think your time is better spent cultivating another client, or the client may actually appreciate that you tell them the truth and come back to you again. And another one is that maybe during projects, if the client is going to do something suicidal to the project success, we also be quite upfront. The fact that I think it's best that the project that we are handling succeed. I think it leaves a better taste in the mouth, and the chance of a second project, a third or fourth, comes a lot more readily. Save you a lot of trouble getting too many clients, and it's best to get projects from less clients. It's easier to serve. So rather than you have a project from many clients and one project each, is tougher to serve. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks, Young. Oh, Eject and Wilma says hi.
Oh, hello. Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, they can respond in the comments. I'll read it out to you. But yeah, since you're talking about clients and consultancy work that you do, Like, what's the one project that you've most enjoyed like working on?
I think recently, I work on a project for a startup. But it's a new startup. But the guy heading the program was an old customer of mine. We've been working together for 20 years. And why I say I like it is that sense that one thing I kind of don't find very pleasurable is that clients that just try to interject and add in their own DNA for the sake of doing it. Changes for the sake of changing. I think this one client that is just very professional. And the agenda is very clear. The agenda to all of us is for the success of the project. You can check it out on our website, designexchange.com, Endophotonics. You go under works, and I think the project with a medical device is on clinical trial right now in China and Singapore. So and it does also involve a lot of user experience. It's not just a hardware design, and I also get to do quite a lot of user interface work, UX work on it.
Endo what?
Endo, E-N, Photonics. You can see our website under works. I think it's one of the things with a UI, orange view. It's quite a new project.
Okay, I'll just type it in here. Endophotonics.
Yeah.
Hopefully I spelled it correct.
Yeah, you can check it out on our website.
Okay.
Yeah, designexchange.com. So, I like it in the sense that it's very purposeful. We're all in it just to make it work. There's no politics, nothing involved. And that's what design's about. That's why we study design. That's why we want to be a design professional. That's why we want to be good at design, to do work like that, with a good client, a lot of trust.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thanks, yeah. So thanks, Cloud Salad, for your question. Since you're talking about why you wanted to do design in the first place, so what brought you to design? Like, what made you want to pursue this career?
There were many reasons, but I think for many years, right, I've been looking at portfolio from students, graduates. Most of them are totally irrelevant, and a lot of time I look at it, it's like, what were these guys thinking when they send this to me, you know? And best of all, who are these people guiding them? You know? Must have this thought. And lo and behold, I became on the advisory committee for DID. And one day after the meeting, I think someone said, "Hey, you know, there's this opening." So
When was this?
I think 6 years ago. 5 years ago. Yeah, I think 5 years ago. So I say, "Hey, why don't I try out?" So anyway, they all know me and what I do. So I came in, and I thought I'd try it for a while. And I like most of the part here. I mean, I don't like some parts. I like some parts. I do like most of the students. I do enjoy it. I mean, I would have done it for free, I'll be frank. You know, just to play a part. Just to have to move that brick before it's dry, you know, and to play a part that I think the joy comes from that, hey, I can steer someone towards a career, because like it or not, someone with a really mediocre portfolio will have a hard time getting a job. Okay, and sooner or later that person will leave the industry to do something else. So if I can steer someone, especially someone that's talented with potential, into a fruitful career in this area, which I think is something I enjoy also. I mean, I enjoy this industry, I love it. I think it's enough for me. That's how I enjoy it.
So what made you join the industry in the first place? When you're like much younger, how did you know that you wanted to pursue design?
I got it by accident.
Oh.
I was walking along in the bookstore, and then there's this book on the floor called Industrial Design.
When was this? How old were you?
I think I was just after army.
After army?
Yeah.
18.
About
18.
there, then it's at Wisma or something. I think page 1 bookstore was there last.
This is which year?
I can't
19.
remember. Oh, it was ancient, or like my son is almost your age, her age. So it's a long time ago, and I just say, hey, you mean there's such a thing? Because I always like window shopping and looking at stuff. Say, hey, you know, you can change that. You know, it'll be such a good product. Yeah, I thought, wow, that's actually a profession like that, and I signed up. And it's interesting. I signed up for a wrong course, of course, because there wasn't internet.
Okay.
I ended up in what you would call a UX design course instead. The term wasn't coined yet, but it's user behavior. So a lot of the things that I practice actually I self-learn, but fortunately today, right, UX is such a hot topic, and so I got a head start early on, so it worked out.
So yeah, while waiting for more questions to come in, I'm just gonna ask. Okay, so what made you, after so many years, like since then your army days, like going to the UX program, like what makes you stay in this field?
I always enjoy it.
Okay.
I just kind of, or you can put it, I'm actually not very good at many other things. So I find this the most pleasurable. Just making a difference, creating just making better products, making things that are more usable. And having said that, I think design is quite broad. So there are many ways design are practiced. I prefer to do design that has a clear value to people, to businesses. So it brings value. And that value that you can bring to the table, that translates to reward for you and your team. That's how it works. There are niche area of design which people do, but that's not what I'm interested in. So more into usability, I don't know, business strategy, design strategy.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this question to you. So Stacey, since Keon was mentioning more about things that he enjoys the most about design, how about for you? Like, what's one thing about design that you enjoy?
One thing about design that I enjoy.
Or more than one thing, but one thing.
I enjoy the design process more so than the whole. Not about the process. The whole idea of trying to identify something that you want to do, or something that you want to change about a topic, or something that interests you, and then seeing where you can take it. I think that's interesting. Yeah. So if you're talking about the design process, it's the identifying like what exactly you want to do, and then after that is ideation, and then forming concepts. More of the thinking side. I quite enjoy the user research and thinking part of it. Yes. But and subsequently after ideation, then what else to do after ideation? Problems, identifying a problem, choosing which ideas or concepts, and then making the final product or final user interface. Yeah.
I think like Stacey's description doesn't do justice to her talent. I think Stacey is one of our top students, by the way. So anyway, I think strength that I think her head is just wired differently. She came up with the weirdest idea that worked for some reason.
For example?
There's so many examples. I don't know where to draw, and some of them are quite complex. Like although she tell you her thesis is about we're looking at the way people look at colors and things. Actually, the whole project has the roots on some of those like mysterious tribes from the Amazon or remote part of the world that you never heard of. She studied it's more like anthropology in a sense. So the way she look at how these tribes behave and assess things. For example, some tribes they don't look at red as red. They look at red as a fruit red, or they don't look at green as a color and brown as another color. They look at green as fresh, brown as stable or valuable, or dry. So that's where that root of the project comes from. She has a knack for looking at things at a very different angle. I think that's a strength. I can imagine her doing great things even like soon after graduation. She's doing great things now, by the way.
Yeah.
Hire me.
Could you explain more about what do you think makes her a good ID student? What character trait?
I'm not sure she's a good ID student, but
good
I think she's a
designer.
You don't follow
Not a
rules
good student,
a lot.
but designer.
It doesn't make her a very good student to all the tutors, but I think talent is quite unusual. She's well differentiated. She's just not another person. Her way of thinking is a bit slanted to something else. So she never actually give you back the same thing. And I think this is where this is an area where I find joy in. teaching, you got quite a wide range of students that you look at. And it's not about me giving knowledge there. I feel that a lot of time, right, I find the interest is sustainable here. It's just, I feel there's an exchange. I'm also drawing things from them. And sometimes the angle they look at things, right, actually keep me inspired. Although technically I'm supposed to be paid to teach them, but it doesn't happen in the MOE manner.
Thanks, guys,
Yeah.
for sharing. Okay, a lot of questions. Okay, go to this one. A common question. The current employment rate of DID, according to the MOE Graduate Employment Survey, the annual one, is 48%. I think this is full-time employment rate.
Yeah.
I'm really worried I can't find a job after getting an ID degree.
Okay, all these numbers shift from batch to batch. Last year, the batch is I think more into arts and more niche side of design. I feel that it's harder to find employment. It just happened to be the nature of that batch. That's what they want to do, and I think we also encourage them to pursue their passion if they feel strongly. But I think most of the batch are quite different. They will be doing things that are more aligned to the market. So it depends on the batch, and also design itself. I like to say, and I say that to even my first year student, design is not a field where you get a degree, you cannot get a job, and then you just do a job 9 to 5 and you go home. It's just not that kind of thing. I think design is a field that rewards the best and the very best. That's why we push them hard. If you're just going to just coast through a course, just go get a piece of paper, I don't think you're going to go very far unless you're a very lucky person or very blessed. So I just to be frank about that, it's different from other fields like accounting or law or something. And it's, of course, it's more focused and structured than, say, a fine arts program. Or you're trying to be a K-pop star. I mean, that's a bit difficult. But I like to say most of our students can find employment easily. And if you add in the total employment there, it's a lot higher than 48. Because also, don't forget, we are also in a gig industry here. A lot of studio, even DBS, are hiring on contract, for example. If they want to size up something. And even if you go to, say, Scandinavian country, most of the creative field contracts are actually on contract. They are on contract, they're not permanent hire. And you make yourself so valuable to the company, they will hire you.
Yeah. So one of your points is that no problem getting a job as long as you're good.
You need to strive hard.
Yeah.
It's not about just going through a course, getting a piece of paper. I think it's not about that.
Yeah, but I'd like to add to this question that we get every year. So this is based on the MOE Graduate Employment Survey, the annual survey. And for this survey, they only collect most of the statistics from fresh graduates within 4 months after they graduate. And during that time, it's quite common in our culture for students to take up internships if they want to be personally mentored by a particular veteran in the field. So that one wouldn't be considered as full-time employment. Also, as Hyung was mentioning, some people take contract jobs. So it depends on what kind of job that you want to take up. And usually people take this time to figure out like what would they find most meaningful. Yeah.
And also, I think some of the candidates I know actually do it by choice. I think they don't be tied down to any particular thing. And I think some of our graduates actually are quite strong. I think they're ready they can hit the road running. So they are actually ready to start working. And some of them actually are freelancing, which makes it a lot more money than employment. So it depends, and of course there are some that want to have their own startup. It's quite active scene here. So, but still, the thing I just said, that it's not a paper chase kind of career with a piece of paper and you make a fortune or you sustain a long career. It's not the kind. You need to have a certain level of passion and persistence and greed. Not persistent to chase things, but I think a persistent for perfection, that you want to deliver things that are up to a certain mark, or you want to be one of the best or the very best in the field. I think that will, if you are a kind of perfectionist or a very driven person, this is a perfect one. And you find a lot of joy in this, non-stop joy. Lots of excitement, guarantee you.
Okay, thanks, Young. Okay, thanks for the question, Swaggy Fisherman. Okay, let me go to. It's more than 30 minutes. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Because there are some more questions. Okay, maybe go until like 45 minutes. Let me see. Okay, which one? Papa Talent Drive. Okay, I guess this is okay. Good question from implicitly pretentious. Will students without raw talent thrive? Is it possible to succeed in idea by sheer hard work?
Well, I like to flip that around. Someone with sheer talent may not succeed if the person don't have the drive and passion. You know, I think talent is only one thing, and it helps. I mean, there are people that can just mix color just like that and totally off track, and they turn out perfect. And there are people that just get something second version and ready to roll in the 3D model, and then it looks gorgeous. But if that person is just going to stop there, it's not going to go very far. I think it's still, you need that kind of grit and persistence, and perfection. And it's also a fairly complex, industry, and there are many things you can learn from it. So like I said earlier, you have this single siloed skill set where you only do one thing. I think you still can do well, but you need to go extremely well. So you may want to learn other stuff, and only like your passion and your greed, not greedy and as a greed, just being persistent, persevere. I think that part is important. And I've never seen anybody build a strong career by default by doing almost nothing except just doing 9 to 5. I've never seen it. Maybe it happens, but I've never seen it.
So while we're on this, it's been a good question that's been coming up. Like, what are like 3 character traits that you think allows a designer to thrive in the field? Like character traits, not skills, not talent. Yeah.
I think someone that can work at the team. That's great. You have people skill. I know it might sound like it's related, but I think one of the days of the star designer, that Rambo guy, carrying his way to success. I think projects are getting more complex these days. A lot of times the brief reach us, the professional, as something quite vague and abstract. The client knows something is wrong, but they may not know what's wrong. So you may need to work with the whole team to find out. And you also need to work with different disciplines to understand and address those problems. So you need to work as a team, 1. I think 2, passion. A lot of time, once passion comes in, right, you don't count hours. It's not about how many hours you do that. It's not about output. It's about outcome. You're not trying to deliver X, Y, Z. You're trying to deliver impact or address a problem in the best way you can. So I think that passion is inevitable. I've never met one that's successful without passion. And it's something you can't fake either for long at least. I think number 3, I think people that don't give up that easily. I think that's important. Remember, every time you see a product or a service, something that you can encounter out there that is perfect, it's not just about the designer. It's about the designer's design skill, yes, and B, the person is willing to push through all the obstacles. Don't forget, sometimes even your client, the client is the worst enemy. They may have certain preference that is working against the project. You have contractors, you have suppliers to work against. And there are so many things that you have to fight just to get the design that you want across and implement it as it is. So it may need very strong character to push things through. Not in a very rough manner. I mean, you can't offend people left, right, center. You can push it through with reason, with logic. I think that 3 area is quite necessary in professional design. Of course, if you're the star designer, artist guy that can do anything you want, we're talking about different kind of people there. It's very rare. I'd say most of us mere mortals design.
Mere mortals. It's young. Actually, Stacey, what do you think is the most important character trait that allows the designer
ID
to thrive?
student or designer?
Okay, ID student.
ID student. I think for as an ID student, it's probably hard work. Yeah, you just gotta put in the hours. Though sometimes, like what I try to do is to work smart instead of work super hard. So yeah, that's one way you can like try to minimize your workload is to work smart. Yes.
How have you gone about doing that? Working smart.
Currently, like one way I try to work smart is that I don't spend that much time working on it like full on the desk, using a computer, that kind of like working environment. I do a lot of work like in transitioning periods, which I call the moments where you're just walking to places, or like when you're on the bus, so you kind of have nothing to do, so you just think about your project, for example. So in that way, you kind of plan and like do all your thinking before you actually sit down and do your work. Because I don't really work. I don't think it was very efficient to work by sitting down, staring at a computer, and trying to make things work. So I always like think when moving or transitioning. So in that way, I don't spend as much time as people in studio having to do their work. Yeah.
Thanks, Stacey. There are a few, but I'll just like get this last question, which is interesting, from BSCO Works. So seeing that the design landscape in Singapore is leading towards service design, like DBS, SIA, etc., do you think there is a market for product designers? Assuming that.
I think there will always be. It's not a digital like 1 or 0. I think it's more or less. I think although we are talking about AI and everything else, but a lot of time AI comes in the hardware itself, control. And sometimes people forget that actually a lot of the design principle you use to create a physical hardware interface is actually fairly similar to a digital interface. So you talk about hierarchy, about contrast, proportion need to be right, need to be usable, legible. It's the same thing. So it's not like a big swing. I mean, I say for example, if you go to my website, designchange.com again, you can see a lot of product are there. They use the same principle as the digital interface you see there. And even like you can see some of the retail or experience design, like the way we lay out, say, Tan Tock Seng Hospital there, we use the same, fairly similar concept. And also, like sometimes, especially these days, a lot of times it's just the research to identify where the pinpoint, where are the bottlenecks. The same way that you look at the design, a design before you start the project, where is it failing and how do we address it? So the principles are fairly similar. And by the way, I think you see all the projects there, they're very different, but they're all designed by the same people.
Hope that contributes to that question. BSCO Works. Thanks, Hee Hong. Okay, we have a few. Would you have time to answer some student questions, Stacey?
Sure.
Okay, maybe it's more specific. Okay, are there any co-curricular activities that allow ID students to further develop their portfolio?
Co-curricular activities? You mean like NUS?
Oh, but maybe like internships, or is that what you mean by co-curricular activities?
You mean like clubs and societies? I feel like in general, people in ID don't have CCAs. Like they just don't have anything else besides ID because it just occupies too much time. So, yeah, I don't really know of much friends that have co-curricular activities.
To develop portfolio.
Actually got a few.
Yeah.
Oh,
what kind of portfolio?
To develop
like design
portfolio. Anthony, do you mean like non-class or club CCAs, etc., to further develop that portfolio? I don't think so, but there are you can take up internships to further develop your portfolio.
Oh, yeah, you can join competitions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can use competitions as a way to improve your portfolio, like
enterprise
extra work. Yeah. Yes, and I did it last year. I joined some competitions and like the projects can be used in my portfolio as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so some students like preserve some time on the side besides schoolwork to take out competitions like IKEA. Or in NUS also, there's NUS Enterprise Club. It's called NUS Enterprise Club. NUS Enterprise. You can check them out. Sometimes they organize hackathons or design competitions. If you have time.
Hackathons more than design competition, but yes.
Yeah, but for those, you can choose to group up with whoever you want. But I suggest grouping up with students from other expertise, like
Which
engineers.
is useful being USP because then you know people from other faculties. Yeah.
Okay. Hope that answers the question, Anthony. Okay. Okay. There's another one. Okay, last one. What do you dislike about DID?
What do I dislike about it?
Merciful.
Yeah, what's the worst thing about DID?
I'll be honest.
Okay, last one. Last question, so sorry.
What do I dislike about DID? Okay. We don't really have like a student kind of committee. There's no like student welfare or any kind of system in place. It's always just things are being decided for us by tutors based on our feedback, and things just happen. But there's not much of a student body or student voice. So things just get decided without your opinion sometimes. Like us, we had to shift to the sixth floor for no apparent reason. Okay, no, there's a reason, but they didn't really like tell us exactly what the reason was. But yeah, there's not really much of a student body except for class reps. But then again, class reps don't really like are not really they're kind of our de facto student body, but not really. You kind of arrow or like you volunteer your friends to be the head of your class, but
quite
they just do
organic.
admin work. They don't really do like collation of student welfare and then like submit it to the professors, the tutors to maybe do some changes or something. Yeah, we don't really have a student body. Which is
Valerie
annoying.
and someone else is sending hardships.
Yes, I agree. Yay, we don't have a student voice.
So by student voice, you mean like somebody or like a committee in charge of the welfare of students, is it?
Just the not only
Like in
welfare,
charge.
like the thoughts. Like for example, I think before you did the boards, like we had no boards with the new building. I don't understand. How do we not have boards? And we also didn't have like post-its.
By the way, I already designed a board. It's undergoing tender.
But it took 1 year to happen when we always had boards. So like, who decided all these things? Because definitely not the students, because obviously the students will stay in the space and they know what we need. So yes, we have no student voice.
Okay, by the way, the moving part is beyond our control. It's
Yes.
decided by someone. This answers your question.
But they didn't tell us what
I
exactly.
was informed.
Yes, what was no one informed? Like, what was the information? No one knows anything. We gotta go like.
But it's
So
it's a huge university, and sometimes things come down to us.
Yeah, but it's not the full picture. Like, who are they? I want to find out.
It's a company that is moving it with a lot of scholarships and
So
collaboration.
what's the company? You know?
Okay,
I want
guys.
to know the company. Sorry,
Okay.
digressing.
I know we were talking about because the year 4 studio had to move to the 6th floor. Yeah,
Yes.
so that struggle.
It is a nice space with a nice balcony.
That's how they try to make it up to us.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe to end off, maybe you could. I hope that answers the question. Maybe you could describe like how's the culture like in the ID.
The culture.
Yeah,
Student
How has
culture.
it been like working with your friends in studio?
In year 1, it was very family vibes because it's just your batch and you spend a lot of time with them because you do a lot of like projects together. Then from year 2 to year 4, you kind of get separated and then you get to do vertical studios, which I think it's very useful because you expand your skills rapidly. Like this is when you expand your skills rapidly, when you have your seniors to kind of show you what works or like what's the level of standard that you need to be at. Yeah, and then because of that, you get to know more people in the division. So it's quite nice to like everyone just kind of know each other because of the project. So everyone's kind of linked, and that's nice to graduate with a community. Yeah, that it's not just your batch; it's transcend batches.
Thanks, Stacey.
Is that?
How would you describe the culture in the ID?
I think it's quite fluid. I think it's not structured. You're not streamed to any particular way of doing design. Every semester we have about 11 to 14 studio topics, very varied. and you can beat any two of them. So in a way, right, I think we don't stream you. You curate and decide your career forward. So I find that valuable. Of course, someone can always say, hey, but students don't know what they don't know and they pick the wrong one. But we are always there to guide them, and if they need guidance. But it is good to have that freedom.
Thanks, Young.
And it's also nice that all the tutors are like approachable and you talk to all of them. And we don't actually call anyone like prof something. It's quite strange at first when you come from JC, you're like, Mr. Ki Hong. No, you don't do that. You just call him by his name. So it's quite strange at first.
It's quite relaxed. No, you don't imagine she's bad mouthing the program next to me. Getting away.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll plan to stop there. Okay, we need to end, but before that, last words. Any one advice that you would give prospective students who are still considering what uni course that they want to take?
What uni course that they want?
Or Ki Hong?
I think, of course, I'm biased. But
don't need to sell.
I think that design has been misunderstood by many people. These days, it's not about creating a pretty object, a nice table or chair. That holds very little value and impact today. I think coming in our program, right, some of our graduates are actually working at Accenture on business strategy. They're working in Prime Minister's office, fostering policy. They can be in hospital, creating a customer experience or patient experience. They can be in any kind of organization today. So I think that the opportunity here is immense and is fairly future-proof. You look at the things that is valuable looking from now and forward. AI or whatever, how it comes in, you still need certain design skills to create an interface between people and technology. It's a highly relevant subject in my career here. And I myself find it rewarding, fantastic, very interesting, very exciting, still after so many years. I hope to see you here.
Thanks, Young. Stacey, advice?
If you want to do more applied stuff, that's what I would say. Because you don't actually have a lot of exams. I know after many years of being in formal education, you just don't want to take exams or do that kind of written work. And I feel in ID you get to be more creative and having your projects come to life in a way. So they don't just exist on paper. And you don't keep planning for something that doesn't happen. In ID, things happen. Yeah, we make things happen. It's great.
Wow, what a liner to end with. We make things happen.
We make things happen.
Okay, there's a lot of hardships now.
Yay!
And thanks. Okay, thanks so much, Stacey, for staying almost an hour actually.
Yes.
Half an hour longer than our expected duration. But thank you, Kyung, and thank you, Stacey. Thanks everybody for all your questions, and stay tuned. There'll be 6 more live chats are coming. The last one will be on 19th March. That will be the deadline for all the applications. So yeah, just follow us and you'll get updates. Okay, thanks guys. Hope this was helpful.